Happy Labor Day, everybody, and welcome to a special Monday card here at Woodbine. My name is Elisa Blow, joined as always by Jeff Bratt. Now, normally on a Monday about this time, what are you doing?
This would be like grocery, dry, clean run time.
Yes,
maybe grab a bagel for lunch with some tuna.
Ooh, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, this is normally nap time for me because on Mondays I always work in the barn, come home, nice and stinky, have a nice nap. You got to have a shower first, though. Otherwise, you're going to stink up the couch. But looking forward to the 9 races that we have in store for you today. It's also the worst day for kids, right? Sometimes the best, but sometimes the worst. You know what I've been seeing a lot of on Facebook and social media, and it's just, the age range that we're in. A lot of my friends' kids are entering university, and they're dropping them off at school.
It's so funny you mentioned that. One of my best friends, Aaron, he just dropped his eldest off at Queens. And I said, how did it go? He said, okay. I think for the mom, it was a lot harder.
Did you stay home, or did you go to the dorm?
I went to Ryerson, which is now Toronto Metropolitan. So the first and second year I lived at home. Then third year I moved out. That was bad. And then fourth year, basically it's like you're doing your...
Internship.
Well, no, not internship. It's like your...
Masters?
Not your masters, like your practicum, for lack of a better term.
Like
you gotta.
What did you do?
Your big project. We did a video for like a Rock'em Sock'em video for the Guelph Storm. So we went to all the hockey games at the Guelph Storm, and then we edited it. I got pneumonia that year. Actually, I got pretty sick, but that's another story. Anyways, so So it was tough. I had a tough time in university. Like I almost dropped out, but thank goodness I didn't. Yeah.
Really? See, I got dropped off, boy. Like once I turned 18, you're out of here. And I got my own little apartment, got a little lonely by myself, and ended up finding a whole bunch of friends and lived in one of those big houses, the party houses with everybody. It was a lot of fun for me, absolutely. But that first couple of months away from home, you're a little homesick. You're just not sure what to do. The good thing for me was I was really close to Mohawk. So I was able to go to the racetrack.
Something familiar to you.
Something familiar that you could do. Alrighty, 9 races in store for you today. The Turf Distance Series will go as race number 8, and that is the third leg of that series, a long distance, a 1 3/8 for that group of horses. And then, of course, we got to look back at what happened yesterday. There were 10 races on yesterday's program, and some pretty nice winners. For example, Military Time.
Yeah, I like that
really
horse.
Stamped himself. We're starting to see these 2-year-olds, and we've had 2-year-old racing obviously for a while now, but we're starting to see some 2-year-olds that have the ability to become superstars next year here in Canada because they're eligible for all sorts of fun things, including the King's Plate. So I think we're starting to see some horses that would be, possible Cup and Saucer contenders, Coronation contenders as well. But Military Time, very impressive.
And then we had some of our most consistent horses this meet win races. Tabloid Material now a 3-time winner. Miss Vi a 3-time winner now at the meet as well. Nice to see Gail Cox pull off a victory with that one at odds of 5-2. Biggest price came with Old Fashioned Girl for Paul McEntee at odds of 14-1. Killed our pick 4.
Thanks.
But we'll get back on the beam here today and hopefully have some success along the way too. So it feels like the end of summer today.
It does.
Sadly.
But look, you can still have fun. Obviously, we have racing here today. We had a great crowd here, I thought, yesterday.
We did.
It's beautiful weather to sit outside because it's not too hot. It's just perfect in the sunshine. So a great day to enjoy the races. Let's get a look at the card for today. And of course, we have our 7 topics to discuss. First topic is Gritty, and that comes up in race number 3 on the program. 5th race is an optional 10-5 starter going 7/8 of a mile. And whom are you referring to?
Well, the one that's really been good as of late is Highland Society. The question mark is the 7 furlong distance. You look at the overall record with him, and he's raced a lot of races. He's run 53 times, he's a 7-time winner, and he's never won at this distance going 7 furlongs, which is a little bit of a quirky stat, because it's not like it's a huge difference going from 6.5 out to 7, but I just don't remember him running big races back to back like that. Like, can he put 3 races together? That's the big thing. Then you obviously have the Adamo horse. Hayq was going to take a lot of money. Now, they had a horse that was a bit of a bust yesterday.
They did.
In Foolish Games. You've got Lobby Bar, who laid a bit of an egg last time out, but maybe he'll be happier with the cutback in distance. That's a possibility. And Mr. Holden, he all of a sudden has turned out to be a bit of a nifty horse for these connections. And I kind of like what Donnie's doing. They've blown through their conditions. for 15, let's go right in for 10 and see if we can't get another victory as well. But not a race that I see all that clearly. What about you?
You know what's interesting? It's only 6 horses, but any one of these guys can pop up
8.
and win. Or
There's 8.
There's 8? Oh, yeah. Sorry, there's 2 more. Yeah, the 8 is a horse who's been a private sale since the last race. Left the Dave Cody outfit. Looks like they sold this horse privately, and now Ryan Jones will take over the riding duties. I'm going with Donnie's trick here, you know, racing the horse for $10,000 today. It's a horse he knows well. In fact, he's gone back to the well a couple of times with this horse. He lost him and claimed him back again, and he might lose him here today too. It's hard to dismiss any Ron Sadler horses, so I included that one. And then I included Lobby Bar. I know the last race wasn't exactly what Renee wanted, but look at this, Zaheen Savachi.
Don't you find that interesting? Yeah, Savachi, that's true. And I looked at the overall record. He's kind of a bit of a 7-furlong horse. You know, his record at this distance is really, really good. Listen, he's way, way, way better than what happened last time.
Yeah.
I don't know why he ran so poorly last time.
I don't know either, but I'll tell you one thing. That horse will show you his cards in the pack.
Yeah.
So if he's acting saucy, then that's the day that he wants to play. Let's go to race number 4, our next topic, which is Good Rally, and we'll look at maiden optional $25,000 claimers going 3/4 of a mile. We'll scratch the 2 in this spot. You know, there's a few in here that are interesting. You got some first-time starters. More Than Scat's a first-time starter for Warren LeBlanc. Apollo Mo Money is still a first-time starter. This horse has come over to race once or twice.
Twice.
Yeah, and it's been a scratch.
Twice.
Yeah, so we got to hope that Dale's, I know he has, but that he's schooled with this one. And Drake Drive is a first-time starter as well, a 4-year-old making the career debut.
Now, if memory serves me correct, I think Hernandez was named on Apollo My Money in both those races. Now he shows up with Chambers, so Salas picks up the mount here with Apollo My Money. Poor Leo gets all kind of the project horses, you know. But what about Pinboy? I thought for Renee, he ran an absolute beauty of a race last time out. And this is a good replay, too, because May and June's racing on today's program. May and June's on the front end, and we'll take a look at Pinboy. So Pinboy's not going to beat the winner here on this occasion, but sometimes I just have to tip my cap with horses that run the best races of their careers. And what I really like about this guy, despite being on the incorrect lead, is he is trying so hard in here.
You can see him trying.
Like he's like, go, I'm trying. I just can't quite get, but he's really running. Like he is motoring. But you brought up such a good point the last time this horse ran, and you and I were talking about this, and I think we were talking off camera, and I said to boy, Pinboy might be sitting on a race that is going to be a winning one, and you said, you know what, I agree with you, but at this time of the year, you get all these droppers.
I know.
And what happens, Chambers has taken the double drop down in class in here today. That's a bit of a problem. Sterling Castle's dropping down in class. So while you're good for 25, you got these others that are dropping down in class.
I know. Yeah, you just got to pick up the overnight and go, right, with some of the droppers. But then you think to yourself, oh, maybe they're dropping for a reason.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
So, I mean, just off of that effort from Pinboy last start out, we know, we've talked about this time and time again, that the game with him is all mental. That looks like she figured something out last start out. And that the light bulb went off with that horse. And May and June, I like that horse on today's program. Comes up a little bit later on in the card. So
what are your thoughts on Chambers? Does the drop just scare you too much?
Yeah.
Because the work time looks fantastic.
I know.
The only reason I went there, and I'm worried about the drop too, is just the fact that Raffi rides.
Yep, he's back.
He's
back, and he did ride the horse last year. Went in against Maiden Special Weight Company. But I want today to be the day for Pinboy. Let's put it that way.
Knock on wood. Renee could win 2 races today.
Oh, wouldn't that be a great day? Because she's she needs one. She's certainly due. Alrighty, let's go to our next topic. Topic 3 is a bumpy return, and that is race number 5 on the card. This is a tough little race, 5/8 of a mile on the inner turf. You got some really good ones here. You got Giant Teddy, you got Light the Lamp, Silent Reserve, Artemis City Limits, who comes in off of a stakes win. I know it's just a small group of 6. Oh, and don't forget about Jet Sweep Joe, who's coming in from Grade 3 stakes races. This is a great little group. Now, the 4 is a scratch, so it gets us down to a field of 5. Artemis City Limits at a big price last start was the winner of the Vice Regent, but remember that day the turf had a little bit of give to it.
Yeah, and this was a roughly run race, and we're going to watch the number 2 in here, this being Giant Teddy. So watch this one. This horse gets into trouble a couple different times in here. So just watch the 2 coming out of the gate. There was all kinds of rough trips in here, but just watch the 2. That's our subject in here. So right now we're in a little bit tight. We're going to have to take back right there, put on the brakes. Okay, normally that's bad enough, but it gets worse. So right now, okay, we're kind of regrouping ourselves in here. We're going to be in a little tight, though, coming up in a couple of seconds. Right here, we got to put the brakes on yet again. Almost come unseated. And miraculously, this horse almost wins this race from this spot. So we'll just keep watching in here. And this is how the year has gone for Sylvain Pion, unfortunately. Horse runs a terrific race and then gets beat on this. Artemis City Limits now has the front end and avoided all kinds of trouble. And now Giant Teddy swings towards the outside, and just watch the run that Giant Teddy puts on in here to eventually lose by a neck in here. He is absolutely rolling. He had every excuse to toss in the towel, this horse. And he runs a terrific race. Heavy favorites on the inside.
He's got a horrible trip.
Yeah, got a horrible trip as well, But just ran out of racetrack there. So I think the scratch at Garofoli helps us out reserve a little bit in here. I think that horse might be able to go gate to wire as a real 5 furlong specialist, but I'm going to give the nod here to Light the Lamp, who might be able to put enough pressure on that one.
Yeah, I like Light the Lamp too, because Light the Lamp is a horse that hung it on Silent Reserve in the last jump. And I'm kind of hoping that happens again here today. Pietro Moran back aboard Light the Lamp, who's going to be a top selection from 3 of us. Ron and the morning line looking at the 6 as a repeater, coming in off of that victory. But arguments could be made that a couple of horses in that race, including the favorite, with a better trip, they're the winner.
You know what? Remember when you were a kid and you went to the movies and it said it was rated AA, and had to bring an adult with you, and that was a big thing. That replay there was rated R, because there was a lot of violence in that replay. There was some trouble trips in that race.
Well, we go from bumpy rides to a wide trip in race number 6, which is an optional $40,000 claim. We're going 3/4 on the main track, and here's this May and June reference, because we showed you the replay for May and June, who was quite an easy winner back early in the month of August. Now, Vivez is going to take over because Amanda Vandermeersch, the regular rider, is riding today at Fort Erie. Today's their Puss in Boots race, which is what everybody goes to watch at the Fort. But Groot is here as well. And oh man, this Groot is quite the workhorse. And will these works translate into a big victory here today?
He was a very highly thought of horse early on in his career. And I mean, the form tells you that. They went to the Summer Stakes in his 3rd career start, and he finished 9th. I think they then gelded him, and he came back and he won. But now he's had some real gaps along the way. But I want to show you a replay as a perfect example if you want to teach somebody what ground loss can mean in a race. So the 7 in this race is Red Pharaoh. The eventual winner is the 1, okay? And that is one by the name of Back on the Chain Gang. Back on the Chain Gang never leaves the rail, but look how wide this poor Red Pharaoh has to go. So right now we're covering a ton of ground in here. Meanwhile, on the inside, I believe looks like Sophia was on the winner of that being Back on the Chain Gang. And looks like Red Pharaoh's going to win it, and then this ground-saving trip just pays off, in a big, big way. And then Marty claimed the horse. And what I like too is there's no waiting the 30 days or anything like that. They're moving up in class, but that's a big, big race from Red Pharaoh. Back-to-back 71 Buyer Speed Figures makes this horse a real serious contender coming up in race number 6 as well. Pietro Moran will guide, but ground loss is absolutely crucial in this sport, and we see it time and time again, especially with how live the rail has been this year at Woodbine. I would say 90% of the time the rail is an absolute golden path to victory here.
Well, even look at all those morning works that we provide you with from Ernie Perry, and he always says inside, 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 right? 99.9% of the time it is the inside here in Toronto. But yeah, the 6th race on the program will kick off the final pick 4 for you on the afternoon. But we'll see what happens there in the 6th on the card. Let's go to the 7th race. 7th race to kick off the final pick 3. That's our next topic, which is exactor. You know what? Bill Therendis loves to pick on the Drexler outfit, right?
And has done well doing so.
And has done well doing so. You know, the horse that won yesterday, the Gail Cox had, Miss 5 I Am, is the first one that comes to mind. So he claims this horse back on July the 20th, when in for the $32,000 tag off of a 3rd place finish. Today, he's waited the 30 days, brings the horse back for the same price tag. Raffy's going to ride the horse. It's just like, all signs kind of point to yes with Pine Knoll.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, too, with him, he's not a very complicated horse. You know, I just think he's one of those old timers. You just keep him happy, let him have his morning stretches, and you're not going to invent the wheel with him. And you just hope that he runs the same type of race. And say hypothetically he wins today and he gets taken back, it's a good piece of business. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. Waiting the 30 days and getting that good chunk of change in there. Now, the horse you've got in second is a little bit interesting to me, and this is Pat's Gamble, because Pat's Gamble had one wild trip last time out. It's in the same race as Forrester's Fortune. They both got carried so wide. But what is so unique about Pat's Gamble is he never finds himself that far back. And he just found himself, maybe that was because of the draw, too. He had a terrible draw on that day. He doesn't get the best of draws either here today as well.
But isn't he like uber consistent? Like, look at him. He very rarely misses a check. And he's, you know, coming into this race off of two nice works, working 47 and 2. And then look at the one on August 24th. He worked in 46 and 4. Like, that's eye-popping for me. So to me, it's a 6'10 exactor. I'm going to have a little fun with that one. Who did Robert meet? Oh, Pine Knoll. You know, again, with these Robert and these pictures, they pull at your heartstrings.
And there's Willie.
There's Bill.
And I agree with that. Ever reliable. That's a good way of putting it.
Are we talking about Bill or the horse?
Well, I'll tell you, Willie's always good for a laugh. He's reliable for a laugh, I'll tell you that much.
Well, that, and you know what I always like about Bill, he's always really honest with us when we ask him about horses. You know, he's always really honest. Oh, we went to see Rat Portage, and this horse has gone into a new outfit, over to the Ted Holder outfit, and here, of course, would be his groom. But unfortunately, Cashmere. Okay, all right, good to know. So a nice group there for race number 7. 7th race kicks off the final pick 3. I don't believe we're talking about the 8th race, but the 8th race is the Turf Distance Series at a mile and 3/8, so just a small group there of 5. Can Fighter in the Wind do it again? He's one of my faves.
Listen, it's absolute bonus what he does now. I never thought he would win the last race, and he did.
I met his owner last start out. He's like, "You're his #1 fan. Do you want to come in the winner's circus?" And I didn't put him on top though. It never looks good when the handicapper goes in the picture and didn't use the horse up in the top spot. So the 9th race is where we head to next, Levels. Now I'm looking at this and I'm having a little giggle because, you know, you and me and Randy Waples, Chad Rosema, a whole bunch of us are huge Seinfeld fans, and of course producer Mike upstairs is a big Seinfeld fan as well. So Levels. I know exactly what he was getting to when he was making that the point for this one, but it's a $25,000 claimer, non-winners of 2, and you know, you get a big scratch at Demba, who's a vet scratch from this race, and guess who a lot of us are going to land on is Bill Theranis, I think, and My Boy Bruce.
Speaking of levels, we drop into an easier level here today, going in for that $25,000. I kind of hope it wakes him up a little bit, gets back over the synthetic surface as well. So I don't mind that one. I don't mind Conacher. Speaking of levels, drops down in class, quick comeback for that one. Prime Plus One's run well, quick comeback as well. A lot of horses in this race last ran on turf, and now are being moved over to the synthetic surface as well. Tiger Town goes off the claim for John Coriatz. Do we have more pictures?
Oh, look at this one now. Drop your gloves. He went all the way to Fort Erie to see that horse?
No. That's the shipping retention barn, I think. Game On is Drop Your Gloves. You know, Drop Your Gloves has got a shot for Kevin
Absolutely.
Good run. I mean, that Ella Cran has come back to win yet again last time out. And one thing about Kevin I find with this horse, he's always been very realistic from a classification point of view.
Yeah, and even I can remember last year when Sarah brought the horse over and we were saying, like, well, you know, you're obviously going to hope for a baby race at Fort Erie. She said, there's just no baby races, you know, so this is where you have to come. But this horse actually pays his way. You know, he's been able to make close to $35,000 so far in his career. So that gets us through the 9 that we have for you. Now, as far as plays of the day are concerned, I've lost one, courtesy of a scratch. But what do you have for today?
So what do I have? That's a great question. Let's take a look. My best bet comes up right in the first race, that being Ready to Collect. Could be a good day for the Ted Holder outfits. Right now, that one on the board. It's still not a bad price at odds of 2-1. Sunrise Drive, I think this is a pretty important race for him because he's dropping down into a much easier spot here today. His last race was not great. My drop and pop is going to be Chambers. I like 2 Kevin Attardo horses today, Chambers and Groot. dropping, popping off the bench.
All right. Okay. I lost one because of a scratch. I had Demba, but that horse is out. So, ready to collect an interesting horse in the opener on the program. That one moving into the Ted Holder barn as well. Groot, I'm with you on that one, thanks to the fast works. And the first start off with a claim for Pine Knoll. Look, I'm not reinventing the wheel with any of these today. And even so, the more we talked about the early pick 4, once again, guys, we couldn't find you a key.
No.
But Doug's got Hey Q in the top spot. Apollo more money for our Woodbine TV product. If this horse goes in the gate, I'd love to see
I want to see how good this horse is.
And Ron's got the old boy, Journeyman, who stretches out in distance in the I don't want to say the wrong word, in the turf distance series. All right, we have one clocker horse for you today, and if you played the clocker horse yesterday, then you got a winner.
Yep.
And today he sends along Pat's Gamble. That makes me feel pretty good about that.
Look who we worked with. That's good information.
Groot. Hey, okay, good stuff. This Groot horse, that's all this horse does is work fast times. And Pat's Gamble put up that 46 and 4 work. That was great. So we'll watch for that one on today's program in race number 7, Pat's Gamble. So that gets us all covered as far as the 9 races that we have in store for you. But we're going to do something a little bit different on today's card when we come back from commercial break, because we're midway through the year. We're going to do a midway checkpoint and give out some awards for the first half.
Am I getting an award?
Yes, you always get
right.
one. You
the
always
participation
get one.
award.
That's right. But the awards for the first half of the season, we're going to give those out right after this commercial break.
Love horse racing? HPIBet.com is Canada's leader in online horse betting. Access thousands of live races from hundreds of tracks worldwide instantly. Enjoy the most advanced betting tools like AI Smart Picks and exclusive cashback rewards you won't get anywhere else. Join today and get up to $100 in free bets. Get the ultimate horse betting experience with HPIBet.com.
Race in the world. Pinch me, I think I'm dreaming.
They're off, Midland Dubai World Cup.
And they're into the stretch. 2 of the great racehorses in the world. Giant Killer, by name and by nature. A race for the ages.
Well, welcome back inside the studio as we celebrate Labor Day, but we also are basically celebrating that we're at the midway point of the 2025 racing season. Still, obviously, some big days left to come, especially in, not next Saturday, but the Saturday after that. We have Mile Day, we still have International Day. So lots of big things in the back half of the season, but we want to celebrate some standout performances, standout people in the first half of the year. And so our producer, Mike, said, I'm going to give you guys, which is funny because both of us were on exactly the same wavelength with it, and give you guys a couple of questions. Who do you think is the most improved horse in 2025? And we both had exactly the same answer.
We did. Now, we have some honorable mentions. Could have gone to tabloid material, who obviously is having an unbelievable campaign so far this year. Gizmo's BFF was really good at the start of the campaign, too. But we're going to give this to a horse that was a maiden to start off this year. And then just the other day, ran against stakes competition. His name is Wagstaff. This was his turning point. This is when he kind of got going, and he rolled off 3 consecutive victories. And what
scores by a length.
what I really want to point out about this is just don't give up on a horse, because for the longest time, Nathan last year kept saying to us, I got a really nice Yorkton, I got a really nice Yorkton, and he just wasn't able to put it together. I realized it was maybe a bit of a disappointment in the Toronto Cup, but he's had a terrific campaign, this horse.
Oh yeah, and even so, you know what? He still was fifth in the Toronto Cup, and he tried. This was actually the day that we made a whole bunch of money off of him, though, when he raced in what I would consider to be a prep race. It was a money line allowance, and he ended up beating some nice horses that day too. So certainly has been a very improved horse. And on the Saturday program, we actually had an interview with Nathan Squires too, and he said, you know, I was just so disappointed in this horse. And all of a sudden, and you and I were standing out there with him the day that he won first start of the season when he put him in for 40, right?
Yeah.
So
I just think it's a great analogy to life, like with kids that, you know, maybe play house league hockey, and all of a sudden one year they have this breakout year and they turn on to be on the rec team the next year.
Sure, there's late bloomers in every species.
I'm still trying to figure life out.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so our MVP for the first half of the season, not a big surprise.
No, this was pretty easy. We're going to give this to Kevin Attard. Obviously, he did very well winning the plate this season, but he's had other stake winners too. Bail us out. He was able to have some success. But what is so encouraging to me about Kevin is not only in what Mancetti did, but look at his babies he's got this season as well. And you know, this was an amazing train job with this horse too, because you and I were talking to Kevin last season with Mancetti, and we said, man, you might have a plate prospect on your hands. He said, I don't know if he really wants to go 2 turns. No, like there's to go 2 turns. He wins at 1.25 miles. So he's done an unbelievable job, but it's just, it's not only Mancetti though, it's just what he's got coming up. Every Saturday or Sunday, it's a 2-year-old that makes the clock report. He's just got bullet after bullet after bullet, it seems
well,
like.
you can think of a few right off the top of your head. 2 Out Hero, of course, you know, now a stakes winner who was a really nice debut winner. Marcus J, who was a man amongst boys when he broke his maiden. Bill of Ice is another horse that we saw do some good things. That was in our first 2-turn race for babies this season. He's just had so many nice youngsters, and there's still more to come. So that's fantastic. We look forward to a big back half of the season, not just for Kevin, but obviously for Pietro as well.
Could he be in store for a soft award? I think this kid will be, when it comes to, you know, obviously being a guy that's going to win champion apprentice, maybe champion rider. But here's one of the 2-year-olds that you spoke of, and the thing with Shacktown is, and we've seen this a lot with the Kevin Attard horses, they've just come over physically. I don't want to say more advanced, but they're just, imposing's a great word to play in. They just I think they walk into the paddock and it's almost like they scared the competition a little bit.
I don't know what they feed them over there, but they're big. They're big. Like some babies come over and they look like babies, and his babies come over and they look like warriors. Yep, absolutely. And Shacktown is a horse that we'll be watching too, because that horse is eligible for the plate. But first of all, you have to get through all the stepping stones this season. But we're going to have some fun watching those youngsters from his barn as they get ready for a good fall campaign. Our race of the year. Now, this one's all Jeff, because I have a race of the year, but it's not going to make it's not going to make the list. But your race of the year is when Sherry DeVoe came up here with She Feels Pretty.
Yeah, so She Feels Pretty. First of all, just getting this horse back at Woodbine was amazing, because she's such a lovely, lovely horse. And you know, they thought about going to the Flower Bowl, and then down the backside, she's swishing her tail, and we're trying to figure out what that's all about. You know, she got stepped on, as we found out afterwards, courtesy of Johnny Velasquez. And then you got this Godolphin up-and-comer that runs an absolute beauty of a race. And her class got her there, because right now she kind of starts to loafing a little bit on the front end. And Diamond Rain starts to roll here, but class just gets you there sometimes. And, you know, this was the scene of her breakthrough performance. Don't forget, the first time that she became a stakes winner was in La Telma. And now she holds on to win, and are 10 lengths clear of everybody else.
And they're both going to be in the Breeders' Cup.
Yeah, so that's terrific.
That's exciting, of course. So yeah, that was a great day of racing, that's for sure. And then yesterday I was thinking, you know, as the day was going on, I was like, you know, we should give a tout to, you know, somebody who's coming up, right? Like a rising star, you know, and maybe a trainer to keep your eye on. And last year, Devin Gittins, of course, came here from Assiniboia Downs. He came, I would say, like, midway through the season, somewhere around there, right? And he was having some problems, just struggling, at that stage in the game to find out where horses fit and this and that. But then he made a great move. He decided to just get out of Winnipeg and come here and focus on Woodbine. He brought the clients that he could bring with him. He picked up Bruno Schickedance here, and he has had a monstrous first half of the campaign. One of the things that I admire the most about him too is his ability to pick, nice horses that he can claim, for example, and do very well with. Like there's a few horses that he's claimed that have been little superstars, one of which is Tabloid Material. Per Factor was a really good claim for him, and the same could be said for Your Valentino, another good claim that he made. So his horses off of the claim do very, very well. He's made some good money. Here's a look back at one of his best horses, Tabloid Material. I would say one of the favorites though in his barn is Per Factor.
Per Factor as well. But the thing is, with all those names that you spoke of, to me what is so significant is he's improving the quality of his stock.
Yes.
That's the big thing. He's starting to get better and better horses, because obviously when you're in Winnipeg, they don't have the quality of horse that we have here at Woodbine. And now here he's claiming some more expensive horses, and he's got obviously a very good client that's willing to put up some big bucks as well, Bruno Schickedance. And now he's starting to get some better quality stock too. He's won with some first-time starters.
Yes.
That's kind of impressive.
2 on the same day.
At big numbers. And so that's pretty impressive too. So his stats are really, really good, especially in sprint races. He's so good when it comes to sprint races.
Yeah, so keep your eye on him as well for the back half of the campaign. What do we got to talk about? Well, guess what? You got used to this week's schedule, and now we've got another schedule to provide your way. So it's okay. I get to go back to my regular alarm now.
Right.
So Thursday, the show will be at 4:45. First race post time is 5:30, and then Friday, first race post time is 4:30. So back it up by an hour and change. So 3:35 will be the show time, and that's going to be what we're going to do for the rest of the season, Jeff.
Like we are.
Thursdays and Fridays. So forget about having any kind of social life on Thursdays and Fridays. It's a good thing you play hockey on Wednesday, and that I take my lesson every Wednesday.
Yeah. So
Tuesday.
I play hockey on Tuesdays. I'm off this week though.
From hockey, aren't you in the finals?
We
Didn't
lost
you say
last week. Lost 4-0. But we made the finals at least, which was an accomplishment. But yes, the schedule does change. And if you're wondering why, it's because of the renovations to the EP Taylor Turf Course. The construction has to be done during the day, and thus we can race later
but
on
Saturdays
in the
and Sundays are exactly the same.
And same with holidays. Yeah.
Don't
well,
worry.
this is the only holiday
I think
we
this
run,
is the last holiday Monday, the only holiday Monday that we have as well. So we are into the back half of the 2025 campaign as we celebrate Labor Day here at Woodbine. 9 races in store for you. Just about 20 minutes to go before the opener.